guys, and welcome to our channel. I am Francesca.
I'm Anna Chiara.
And today we will do a reaction of a video called How Big is USA Actually? This video is being requested from one of you on Ko-Fi, so thanks for supporting us and for recommending us the video. And it's a video about, I think, the geography of the United States from the title. I have no clue. I'm really curious to see what this is about. It has a lot of views, so I think it's gonna be a cool and interesting video. And let's see, but don't forget to subscribe to our channel and also follow us on Instagram if you'd like, and put a like on the video. Let's watch. Yeah.
The United States is currently the world's sole superpower with military installations around the world. As a country, its geography spans from subtropical forests to rolling plains, scorching deserts, and Arctic wastes. But just how big is the US really in comparison to the rest of the world?
Okay.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Infographics Show. Today, we're taking a look at how big the US really is. The US is approximately 5,680,000 square miles, with terrain that varies dramatically. Only Russia at 10.6 million square miles and Canada at 6,205,000 square miles are larger than the US. Its three biggest states, Alaska at 663,000 square miles, Texas at 270,000 square miles, and California at 160,000 square miles, combined would be the 17th largest nation in the world, immediately after Sudan at 1.15 million square miles, and right before Libya at 1 million square miles. In total, the US is larger than the 107.
That's a lot of information.
Yeah, we got distracted.
170,000 square miles, and California at 160,000 square miles. Combined would be the 17th largest nation in the world, immediately after Sudan at 1.15 million square miles, and right before Libya at 1 million square miles. In total, the US is larger than the 107 smallest countries in the world combined. With about 327 million people, the United States is also the third most populated nation on Earth, having a total of 4.28% of the total world population. With a net yearly migration rate of approximately 900,000 people, the US is by far the one place the rest of the world wants to live, with Germany coming in second at 350,000 migrants, and Turkey in third with 320.
Wait,
Turkey?
so people
maybe
are immigrating to Germany and then to Turkey as the second and third most popular destination?
That's crazy. I didn't know that. I mean, I could guess the US, but I had no clue about Germany and Turkey.
No idea.
And Turkey especially. Yes. But I don't know if it's like the migration from Syria and that type of...
people searching for asylum, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Interesting.
5,000 migrants. In the US, 83% of the population lives in cities, with its three most populated cities being New York City with 8.5 million people,
Chicago?
Los Angeles with 4 million people, and Chicago with 2.7 million people. All combined, the population of the US's three biggest cities is equal to the population of Chad with 14.5 million people. Just these three cities alone are also more populated than Cuba with 11.5 million people, Belgium with 11.3 million people, and Greece with 11.2 million people. When counting the greater metropolitan area, New York City is the 10th largest city in the world, with a total population of 18.6 million people, just behind Cairo with 18.8 million people, and just ahead of Dhaka with 17.6 million people.
Crazy because
This
New
would
York
make
City
the greater
is not
New
that
York
big.
City area the 63rd largest country in the world, just ahead of Syria with 18 million people. The U.S. is the world's largest economy with a gross domestic product of $20.4 trillion, or 23.3% of the total global economy. China is just behind the U.S. at $14 trillion and 16.1% of the total global economy. When measured by purchasing power parity, or the price of goods and services versus individual incomes, the U.S. comes at number 2 to China, whose GDP PPP is $25.2 trillion. This means that while the Chinese economy is about 30% smaller than the US's, Chinese individuals have on average 20% greater purchasing power in their own country. The three biggest economies within the U.S. states are California with a GDP of $2.6 trillion, Texas with a GDP of $1.6 trillion, and New York with a GDP of $1.5 trillion. Altogether, these three states would be the world's third largest economy, just ahead of Japan with a GDP of $5 trillion. California's economy alone is as big as the United Kingdom's.
Wow.
Texas's is as big as Canada's, and New York's is as big as South Korea's. The United States also has the best equipped military in the world, though it's only the third largest at 1,282,000 active duty personnel. Ahead of it are India with 1.4 million active duty personnel and China with 2.1 million active duty personnel. The US
But
spent
in comparison from the population,
Yeah,
like
of course,
US
that's-
has almost as many people in the army than India, but
It's like
Do
not
you
even
see-
a third of the
yes,
population.
exactly.
over
That's
$610
what's crazy.
billion on its military every year, or 3.1% of its total GDP, 35% of the world's total military expenditure, and more than the next 9 nations combined. Just behind it are China with $150 billion in expenditures and Saudi Arabia with $76 billion in expenditures. The United States also has the most military bases in the
You knew
most
that?
foreign countries in the world, with
Yeah,
approximately
military too.
800 military installations in 80 countries, possibly more military bases in more foreign lands than any nation or empire in history. The cost of maintaining these bases alone is about $156 billion, more than China spends on its entire military. On the civilian side, the U.S. has the world's third largest police force, with 913,000 total police officers, placing it just behind India at number 1 with 1.9 million police officers, and China with 1.6 million police officers.
But
Which
In the
again-
realm of
China
healthcare,
and-
the
Yeah.
U.S. is the most expensive nation on earth, with a health expenditure per capita of $10,350, placing it ahead of Switzerland at $7,900 and Germany at $5,550. While on average the rest of the world spends about 10.3% of its GDP on healthcare, the U.S. spends 18% of its GDP on healthcare. The United States is a large, complex nation, big enough to host several different distinct accents within its own borders. Its people are hardworking and industrious, leading the world's economy. But despite what recent political events might indicate, they're also the most welcoming nation in the world, with 3 times the number of immigrants than nations in either the number 2 or number 3 spot in a global comparison.
The US isn't the only welcoming place in the world. We've never felt more welcomed than when we signed up with Wix.
Yeah, they for sure are. I mean, yeah, they're welcoming. Their culture is based,
Based
on,
on immigration.
immigration, so of course it is that. But what with the politics recently and yeah, there are some things that are not right. I don't know how to say it. You know, there is a more hate than there was before, I guess, against immigrant and Mexicans and whatever. But
Yes, I think it definitely they are, from my understanding and from my experience, because we've been both immigrants in the United States temporarily, but we were there for a couple of years. So I think it's a very different, like they like to pick the immigrants that they want. For example, they have different caps for people that they want to immigrate in the country for every year. So they're trying to mitigate and decide to whose people they can give rights to live in the country. They also have really high standards for people who wants to immigrate in the States. So they really trying to get the best from
yeah,
all other countries of the world.
we just saw that video about India where a lot of India are, CEO in American company, and
Yeah.
they get a lot of India that are really good at university, at tech
Yes.
stuff and that. So yeah, I guess that's a smart way to get immigrants, getting the best.
So
The
they
bad
may-
part is that where they have a board with another country that is less rich, like because they have a board with Canada, but of course Canada is a rich country, so I guess not a lot of Canadians want to move to the US.
Or if they want to, United States, I think they're not that strict.
yeah.
Well, not strict. Probably they give more opportunities to countries where they believe
They can
education
bring
is
the
higher
richness, yeah.
and they're richer, and they try to keep out what they believe are not adding any value to the country, which is understandable.
I think every country kind of do that.
Yes, it's not
yeah.
like I'm pointing to the United States.
Yeah.
But for example, if you think there's a big difference, for example, to Australia, where they give the rights
Yeah,
to
that's true.
count, it's temporary. So even Australia is not like, okay, everybody comes over, but they allow access very easily to...
Yeah, but not to everybody. They still pick the country.
They still pick the countries. It's so interesting. Immigration laws is
Yeah.
such a complicated matter. And I think United States are a country that is based on immigration, but you can see it's a controversial topic because it's very hard for some people that are looking for a better place to live, where it's easy for people that they could pick to live whatever they want because they have the skills and they have the knowledge and they have the education.
Well, guys, thank you for watching us. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and see you in the next one.
Ciao!
Bye.